In recent decades, cybercrime has become one of the most serious threats to global security. Hackers and cybercriminals break into banks, steal millions of dollars, and remain unnoticed in the dark corners of the internet. Today, we will tell you about Dmitry Smilyanets and his notorious hacker group Karbanak. This story is full of daring hacks, international investigations, and incredible facts that will make you think about the security of your data. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready to dive into the world of 21st century cybercrime. Who is Dmitry Smilyanets? Dmitry Smilyanets, born in Russia, was interested in computers and programming from a young age. If you think your neighbor, who is always on his computer, might be up to something suspicious, you might be right. Dmitry began his career as a talented programmer, but his skills soon attracted the attention of less law-abiding elements of society. Even in his youth, Smilyanets showed an extraordinary interest in hacking systems. It was something like teenage rebellion. Only instead of Windows, Dmitry was breaking into computer networks. His first steps in cybercrime started with simple website hacks and data theft. But Dmitry's ambitions were much higher. His drive for perfection in his craft led him to create one of the most notorious cyber groups of modern times. The creation of the Karbanak group. Smilyanets was not alone in his endeavors. Together with other talented hackers, he created the Karbanak group. This was an international gang consisting of cybersecurity specialists, programmers, and even former financial institution employees. If you imagine this team as superheroes, each had their unique skill. Only they used their abilities not to save the world but to rob it. The group got its name from the eponymous malware they developed for bank attacks. Karbanak was a unique tool that allowed hackers to penetrate banking networks and steal vast sums of money. The group's main members were true masters of their craft, and each had their specialization, from developing viruses to planning attacks. These hackers worked as a team of professionals. They devised complex attack schemes, used advanced technologies, and constantly improved their methods. Their arsenal included not only technical skills, but also the ability to psychologically manipulate their victims. Methods and techniques of attacks. Karbanak used a variety of methods to penetrate banking systems. One of their favorite methods was phishing, sending fake emails with malicious attachments. Imagine you work at a bank, open an email with the subject urgent, salary increase, and suddenly your computer starts acting strange. Congratulations, you have just become a victim of a phishing attack. After penetrating the system, the hackers used sophisticated techniques to move within the network and gain access to critical data. One of their favorite tricks was monitoring internal bank security cameras. They watched as employees entered passwords and PIN codes and then used this information for further attacks. If this were a movie, we'd say it's too unrealistic, but this was the reality. Another interesting method was attacking atoms. Hackers used special devices that connected to atoms and allowed them to dispense cash on command. It was like magic. You approach an ATM, and it starts dispensing money, as if by magic. But behind this miracle were complex technical operations and years of training. Major robberies. Karbanak carried out many successful attacks on banks around the world. One of the most famous cases was the robbery of a bank in Russia, where hackers stole over 1 billion rubles. They used their skills to change account data and transfer money to dummy accounts. The money was then cashed out through a network of frontmen and companies. Imagine waking up one morning to find your account emptied. Now imagine this happening to an entire bank. Another high-profile case was the robbery of a bank in Europe, where hackers used Karbanak to alter ATM data. They made the atoms dispense cash at a specific time, and the front men collected the money. It was a real ATM rain. And, of course, no one complained about such a generous gift. Each of these robberies was meticulously planned and executed with virtuoso precision. The hackers worked like real professionals, and their attacks often went unnoticed until it was too late. They used the most modern technologies and constantly adapted to new security methods, making them elusive for many years. International investigations. The activities of Karbanak did not go unnoticed. Soon, international law enforcement agencies, including Interpol and the FBI, were on the group's trail. It was a real cat-and-mouse game, where the hackers tried to hide from justice, and the investigators tried to catch them. Interpol organized many operations to apprehend the group's members. In one such operation, law enforcement agencies from several countries were involved. and it became a real coordination puzzle. Imagine having to catch cunning criminals who could be anywhere in the world while leaving them no chance of escape. One of the most complex operations was conducted in Europe, where hackers were apprehended thanks to the coordination of police actions from several countries. It was like a spy movie: agents in black suits, secret databases, and round-the-clock surveillance. The operation's success was made possible by using advanced technologies and analytical work. Arrest of Dmitry Smilyanets and his associates. Eventually, justice caught up with Dmitry Smilyanets and his associates. In 2016, he was arrested at Amsterdam airport at the request of the American authorities. It was like a scene from a Hollywood blockbuster: agents in black suits, an arrest in front of astonished passengers, and a tense atmosphere. Smilyanets was extradited to the United States, where he was charged with cybercrimes. His arrest dealt a powerful blow to Karbanak, but the group continued to operate for some time until all its key members were arrested. Smilyanets and his associates found themselves at the center of high-profile court cases that attracted worldwide attention. Their arrest became a symbol of the successful fight against cybercrime and proof that even the smartest and most cunning criminals cannot escape justice. Confession and punishment. The trials of the Karbanak members were long and complex. Dmitry Smilyanets and his associates confessed to committing cybercrimes. During the court hearings, many details about the group's activities and methods became known. The punishments for the Karbanak members were severe. Smilyanets received a lengthy prison sentence, and his associates were also sentenced to various terms of imprisonment. This case became a vivid example, and even the most intelligent and talented criminals cannot escape justice. Smilyanets was sentenced to several years in prison, and his associates received different terms depending on their role in the organization. It was a harsh but fair punishment, which became a warning for all those planning to engage in cybercrime. Consequences for cybersecurity. The Karbanak case was a lesson for everyone involved in cybersecurity. Banks and financial institutions worldwide began to work intensively on protecting their systems from such attacks. New methods of detecting and preventing cyberattacks were developed, and data protection measures were improved. This case also showed how important international coordination is in combating cybercrime. Authorities in different countries realized that only through joint efforts could such threats be countered. As a result of Karbanak's activities, new security standards were implemented, and more sophisticated data protection systems were developed. Banks began to use multi-layered authentication systems and improved encryption methods to prevent similar attacks in the future. The story of Dmitry Smilyanets and the Karbanak Group is an example of how modern technologies can be used to commit crimes. It is also a story of how justice and international cooperation can stop the most sophisticated criminals. In the digital age, it is important to remember the security of your data and be vigilant. Cybercriminals do not sleep, and who knows, maybe right now, someone is trying to hack your account. We must be ready for new challenges and constantly improve our knowledge and skills in cybersecurity. Only in this way can we protect ourselves and our data from such threats. Interesting facts. Dmitry Smilyanets was also known as a talented gamer and even participated in professional tournaments. Karbanak used a unique method of attacking through cash registers, where hackers accessed data through infected cash registers in stores. During one of the attacks, hackers used fake social networks to gather information about bank employees and their habits. The Karbanak Group also participated in stealing credit card data, which was then sold on the black market. One of the most sophisticated attacks involved using malware to alter transaction data, allowing hackers to hide their tracks. Smilyanets and his team developed special software to automate their attacks, making them even more efficient and fast.